Hello and welcome everybody to the most recent installment of Alice in Japan. I want to say it's number 10. Two full hands. Okay, so we're going to go right into the middle of things. You are standing on the shore of the, well, it's kind of like a burial temple. And you have just seen the quite impressive showing of a former German submarine surfacing in front of you. There are people on board. You can see machine guns. They are shouting to you and they're telling you to board the ship. You are not alone. You are with Professor Fukuchi and several of his students who are here to help with the excavations, and of course yourself, your trusted Dottie Williams, your trusted cane, which hides a little bit of a secret, and your handgun. And you kind of realize that you're not going to go anywhere fast because you are on an island, which is an artificial one, and you can't get very far. And you could get into your boat, but pretty much the submarine is closing off this harbor thingy that you're in, so you can't pass them by. What do you do? Oh, and Akane is, of course, with you.
Cursing loudly, probably.
Okay.
As a free action, I would like to curse them.
Fine. Oh, and you've got the jewel. Pearl.
Yeah. May all the cats find you and scratch your eye out, curse-like thingy. The initial thought of pulling the handgun just fades away with the look at the submarine and the weapons, and that might be a bad idea, I think. And I will try to very discreetly put the jewel in my bra top, on my body itself, in hopes that they will not search us with too much detail. I'm not sure if I should roll a sleight of hand or something.
Do roll a sleight of hand, but with advantage, please, because you are still far away.
And I would try to stand a little bit behind Dottie or so.
That's not a problem.
Sight is not there, but I also want to make sure that the guys that we are with are not seeing it either. So
yeah,
that would be the plan. Let's see what the dice say.
With advantage, please.
We have a problem.
You rolled a 100?
A double 100. I only have zeros in front of me.
But you rolled twice.
Yeah, I when I roll twice, I roll two the 100 dice and one normal one.
Yes.
And I usually take the higher or the lower, depending on if it's advantage or disadvantage.
Don't tell me you rolled two 100s.
I literally
I believe you, but I'm like, what are the odds?
I have no idea. I'm just looking at a lot of zeros, and first my brain was, that is nice and low, and then I was like,
no, it's actually the highest ever. Well, do you want me to tell you what I rolled? Because I rolled for their perception twice, and guess what? I got a 72 twice.
Okay.
So something is really weird.
What is happening?
The ghosts and the gods of statistics are not with us tonight. Okay, so what I will say is that you basically manage to hide it, but you break your bra clasp.
Great. Dottie?
Yes?
Could you give a little help? And I would just turn around and would hold, and something is broken in the back.
Okay, so let's see. With a 63 and 63, that's for the students. They don't notice anything, but Professor Fukuchi rolled a 02. He's realizing that there's something, that there's an affaire du femme is happening. So he's turning away.
Thank you. Yeah, I will just whisper to him like arigato gozaimasu.
And Dottie helps you, and yeah, it works. She manages to close it. Yeah, and then what happens is that I think there's a problem with this whole setup, because how are they going to get you on board? Because they don't, I mean, it's not like they are a ship with little boats on it. They're a submarine. Unless they have a,
Usually they don't they have
they
little
don't, because they couldn't
boats?
even get them out, because the tower or
Yeah,
the
that's true.
turret is just so small. Because when they actually go anywhere, they end up in a harbor with a mole, and then they get out using a gangway.
Well, but we are here with a
Mhm.
boat, so with the guns they
No, but
could
I'm just
basically
thinking,
force
according to
us
this, they
to.
would have no way of getting close to you unless you really wanted to, because they would have to swim.
Yeah. The
Okay,
only
so
way is the guns that go quite far,
what we'll
and
do is
us
we'll hand
being.
wave this. They force you to take your own ship, your own little rowboat or whatever it is, and you go and you board the vessel. Now,
Mhm.
it's actually quite a long one. We talked about the size, but the draft is very low, so it can actually get into shallows. And they basically they point their guns at you, and they make you go downstairs. And then they say, and Akane is translating, that Captain Toyu wants to speak to Professor Fukuchi. And they put you in a room, which looks like, I mean, it's all very cramped in there. So you wouldn't really call it an officer's casino, but that's what it is. So it's at the forward torpedo room,
Mhm.
and it's very cramped. So you're basically where the torpedoes are.
Okay.
And as you walk in, there's now 6 of you. So 3 students, Akane, no, 7, 3 students, Akane, yourself, Dottie, and Professor Fukuchi, and you put in this, and you see Petty Officer Goto, the other diver. They obviously picked him up at your camp, and it looks like they beat him up. So his face is swollen shut, one of his eyes is swollen shut, and he's got a huge black eye, and he looks quite worse for wear. And when you guys step in, he gets up, he bows deeply, and he starts talking really fast. And Fukuchi is trying to calm him down, and Akane translates, and he tells Fukuchi that he was trying to keep them away. They showed up at camp. They beat him up and put him into this ship, and he doesn't know what he's doing here. And because this is a warship with armed torpedoes, and what is going on? And Fukuchi's like, well, I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. I have no knowledge what they want. And he looks at you. I'm an archaeologist. What does the Navy want with me? Or with us?
Either they want to stop us from finding something that they found. You remember the painting? Just talking to the professor, or having clearly.
Well, he can speak English, so you can speak
Okay,
English with
then.
him.
Or they want us to do something to let whatever is on that painting out, to be very bizarre.
Okay, so just assuming that the painting shows reality,
Which
I
we
don't
do
think,
not hope.
yeah, but assuming that it does, my take is we shouldn't let this thing out.
Correctly. I hope that they want to make sure that we don't.
So then they would be our friends.
Maybe they're worried that we want to do something that they don't want us to do, but then the prince should have made it clear to you in the beginning, and we wouldn't even have an issue.
The prince
Why
didn't even,
is-
I mean, I learned about all of this from you, not from the prince. The prince said I should go to this place and I should do excavations to find out stuff. I haven't found anything.
Well, we found the temple thingy where also
Yeah, but I mean, what is
the
that to do
diver
with
was
anything?
dragged away.
That wasn't even on the cards. We were going to go to Ponape. That was a side thing.
I honestly don't know what this submarine and these people want, especially with all the guns and weapons. And why
Is it
beat
something
the
that
poor
you
man
found?
up? We shared everything that we found with you.
Did you share the pearl with him?
No. And we will just ignore that time.
Yeah, no. Okay. Then can you make a
Is it deception
deception?
or something like that? I don't think there is deception a thing. No, it's not. What do we have? Persuasion?
Yeah.
We can only roll better than we just did. And I don't want to jinx you guys, but please behave. That is much nicer. That is a hard success. A 28.
Okay. He gets a a disadvantage because you're speaking English, but it's not his native language. So it's a good thing because otherwise you would have rolled a 0-8.
Oh, then he would have known something as well.
But basically, what did you roll? You had a hard success, didn't you?
Yeah, I rolled a 28.
Okay. So psychology base is 25, isn't it?
Psychology is 10.
Okay, yeah,
It's the
he rolled a
standard base.
78, so he has no idea. Okay. Well then, I'm not sure what. And at that moment, the door opens and 3 armed men come in and they basically address him directly and obviously tell him to follow them. He looks at you and you can tell, and you don't even need to roll, that he is very confused and he is frightened.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Although with Alice, it's a mix of being angry and frightened.
Of course, you're always angry.
And annoyed is more the thing. Not angry, annoyed is more the thing. But at the moment, Alice is just mainly annoyed because she can't put the pieces together. It doesn't make sense at the moment because she doesn't want to have the idea of they might really want us to open this, or stop us from closing it finally or whatever. So
Yeah.
We would just have to wait, eh? So Alice would at least turn around, and can we maybe see if we can help the poor diver at least a little bit?
Yeah, you can make a and I think also
First aid?
Dottie has 62 in this. She will actually, she's whipped out her handkerchief and she's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna spend 2 luck to get a normal success.
I would spend 1 luck to get a normal success as well.
So between the 2 of you, you can help him. So you
Awesome.
basically, first of all, you clean him up, and you also
Because did they take things from us away, or did they just
No.
lead us in there? Because we would have little like bottles of water.
yeah,
and
you
something
have.
light with
They
us
didn't
as
take
well.
anything from you. You even
Okay,
have your
good.
backpack.
Then we would at least have a little bit of things to clean.
And I would
wounds.
also think that Dottie would have brought a basic first aid kit, like, you know,
Yeah, in
because you
case
are running
someone
around
slips,
in
hit knee.
ruins.
Yeah.
Somebody might
Yeah.
scrape, you know,
True.
have a scrape wound. You want to do you want to put some iodide on it to make sure that it doesn't get infected. You would have, like, you know, Band-Aid and definitely, you know, that kind of thing. So she basically, and she would have aspirin.
Oh,
Because the thing is,
nice.
since she's an opium addict, a dry one, but still she would not even have brought laudanum anymore. She wouldn't have buy this anymore because it's in effect a form
Mm-hmm.
of opiate. And she gives him an aspirin, and yeah, well, and he gets up and he bows and he thanks everybody profusely. And then Akane speaks to him, and then he basically repeats again that he has no idea what's going on, but that these are loaded torpedoes. Those are hot torpedoes. And he's very disconcerted because he also felt that he is, and you can also tell now from what she's saying to you that his pride is hurt because he's a Navy petty officer and they didn't treat him with the courtesy that he deserves. And then he says a word which he utters with so much disdain. And Akane blanches and she says, he called them honorless.
They are. Oh, everything that they're doing. It would be fine if they would stop and they want to talk to us. But blazing guns against a professor that is sent by their own leader, basically? This is absurd. Since we're here,
And
Miss
you suddenly
Minami.
feel motion. And you
Oh,
hear also, well, first you hear that the engine is starting and you feel motion. And then you hear a sound like rushing water because they're obviously opening, well,
yeah.
the floodgates, as it were, so the water can rush in so that they can submerge.
So we cannot even flee.
Akane translates, and Goto looks at you, and then he says, and I'm gonna ignore the fact that she translates. I'm just gonna say what he says.
Oh, good, oh, good.
Of course we can flee. We just have to take the boat.
This boat. She would point to the submarine.
Yes. I'm fully qualified.
Okay. That is good to know.
Make a either history or intelligence check. Whichever you prefer.
Intelligence is much higher
Yeah,
than
then
history.
make a no roll.
Thank goodness she's smart, because I barely made it. I have an 83, but it's a success.
Okay. Okay, so what you know is he is a Marine officer, a Navy officer, and he has just suggested mutiny. And on board of ships, mutiny can be
death.
Can mean death instantaneously because captains, at least in you know, like in the whatever the English is for Kriegsmarine.
Although honestly, we are not part of the crew, so technically it's not.
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm
part of this crew.
But I mean,
I'm part of the ship.
I'm not sure how mutiny works. If you have to be part of the crew to mutiny, or if anybody who is on a ship can mutiny and take over. If it's still mutiny.
That's a good question. I would suspect only mutiny would be only the ones that are working on the ship, that they turn against the leader.
Okay.
We are prisoners.
Oh, and then you have this whole prisoner of war thing where the first order is to actually try and escape. Yeah.
And honestly, with him having this they are honorless, which I totally understand, why would he care? They're not worth it. Especially in Japan. If you're honorless, you're not worth anything.
Yeah.
But Alice, before we do anything, Alice would ask him, just since we're here, and maybe we should wait for the professor. The other diver, how well did you know him?
Not at all. I mean, he was a lieutenant. I'm absolutely sure that he was an excellent diver. He had all the credentials, but I'd never been posted with him before.
Okay. Because he was working with the submarine.
How do you know?
He signaled them with a mirror and light and gave them orders what to do.
You mean he got them to track us? And everybody's looking at you now. The students are looking at you. Akane looks at... well, Akane knew
No,
because she
Akane
was
not.
there. But
The professor knew. We talked to him, but we tried to keep it down, and then he died. So the problem kind of vanished, maybe, but not. But the last order he sent was keep away, but in Ponape, make contact more or less.
so he brought
And
them
that's
here.
what they did. He brought them here, but it was his... He was just a lieutenant. He just followed orders he got from someone, clearly. And it makes sense that it was the submarine. We suspected something like that.
Yeah.
But it was clearly the submarine. Which makes it even weirder on why. Why? If it was about making sure we are not doing stupid things, they could have just gone with us officially. And they wouldn't need torpedoes or big weapons for us. We are not armed. Well, kind of, but not like that. Pointing to the torpedoes.
Goto looks around.
Would a weapon help you? Goto, she would ask Goto, just blankly.
He
In
looks at
case
you
we
and,
tried to get in front.
and he says, any weapon would be helpful. But I can turn this into a weapon. And he looks around, and basically there are also pipes and stuff. And he holds on to one of those pipes and he tears it down. And he says, this is a weapon. And he holds a lead pipe in his hand.
Alice would pull out her handgun with a little bit of ammunition, what she has with her. Do you want that?
He's very surprised. He accepts it.
And Alice will just open her cane just a little bit, like, I have my own weapon. And she would close it again.
He's even more surprised.
The professor's armed as well. I hope they are not looking for that. And I hope they return him quickly, because I would not like to leave him behind, because he's on our side, clearly. He's just as surprised as we are.
All right, then what's the plan? And you now realize that you are moving quite speedily, because you can hear the engine, and it's, yeah.
Question is if we wait a bit until the professor comes back and we use that they open the door, because I'm not sure. Alice will have a closer look at the door.
Okay, take a closer look at the door. It's one of those doors that have like those wheelie things to open.
But Alice will try just to see if it opens.
It opens.
Just peeking outside, are there like armed forces outside standing guard?
There's one armed guard.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also see sailors pretty much walking around. It's when you've seen what it looks like inside a U-boat. So basically they're not really walking. It's more like they're shimmying because it's very narrow.
The guard, does he react to Alice like opening door, peeking around?
On a 0-2, he notices you.
I would just look a little bit, and I would just ask Mizu, and would turn around to Akane. And how do you say a bit of water, please?
She notices what you're doing, and she says, in English, that was very well put. And then she basically stands next to you, so that there's like two heads looking around, and she just says in Japanese that we need water and something to eat. And he basically nods. Then he comes to, because the shot is opening outwards, and he pushes it shut. You hear
Okay.
the thing turn,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hear nothing because they are actually quite tight, so you don't hear what's happening outside. And presumably he may be getting food for you and something to drink. We'll see.
Or he will ask if he can. We will see.
Yeah.
So either we try to break out now. There are soldiers as well as Navy people on the ship, so especially we, looking between Miss Minami, Dottie, and myself, we will for sure stand out like Thor thumbs, because women don't belong on ships, as we know.
And also there's another thing to consider, Dottie says. Is it a good idea to use guns on board a ship, a submarine? What if we pierce the hull?
True.
But it also means that they can't shoot. Akane translates, and Goto nods, and he says, yes. That is very observant, which is why most people don't have, I mean, machine guns
But for outside, not for inside.
are a very rare occurrence. They would be for landing troops, because you wouldn't use them. You could use a normal handgun because the velocity isn't as high. But it could lead to, you know, things breaking.
Especially
but machine
pipes or
guns
things like that, yeah.
should not be fired at all, and they would be stupid if they did, because they would definitely at some point breach the hull, and we would all drown. It would take a while, but... And of course, she could always surface. But
So
then
question
this quest ends as soon as she has a hull breach.
I still tend to wait for the professor, see what he learned, and then try to escape.
At that moment, the door opens, and a sailor comes in with several bento boxes. There is no other way to describe it. Normal bento boxes and tea. And he's got a hamper and water, and he bows and he hands it out, and everybody can have food. And the food is, you know, this is it's a submarine, so it's probably not the best, but it's edible, and yeah, it's lots of rice.
It's fine.
And pickled, yeah, and anything that's pickled, because that keeps the vitamins going. Yeah.
And yeah, then let's take a little snack until the professor's back. Alice would also in between look at her. I'm not sure if she would wear a wristwatch during that time. I think so. Yes.
You've established before that you have a wristwatch. I don't know if you have it on you, but she owns at least one.
She would have it on her, because if not, pocket watch would. But I think she would have like a nice wrist watch, which is a horrible thing to say for German.
Wristwatch, yeah.
Watch. What the heck? And I would just want to keep track of time, because clearly it will take some time to have the professor there, but if he's not returning within the next hour, we need to get out anyhow, because then we are more worried that the professor's not alive anymore.
As you're talking about this and making plans, the door opens, and the professor it climbs through the door. And he also has a little hamper with apparently food that they gave him and something to drink, and they close the door behind him. And he eyes the door, and then he basically motions to all of you to come towards the front and away from the door. And he says,
"Yep,
that was really strange. He says he's here to open a gate, and I am supposed to have a key. I have no idea what they're talking about. They were talking about a jewel or something, which I found many things, but I didn't find a jewel, but they showed me something. It was one of those reliefs. And it was written in Nakal. It was also on on a tablet, on a turtle tablet, and it was something about opening the lid. Does that mean anything to you?
Well, opening the lid sounds like the drawing on the turtle you have. We just read it the wrong way. For us, it looked like they were closing the lid.
Maybe we had the one that closes the lid.
That might be.
Because to me, I will be quite honest with you, I'm an archaeologist. I consider myself a scientist. The captain seems to believe that his tablet is a kind of, I don't know, magical spell. And if he says the words, it will open the lid. I mean, that's not possible. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Is the tablet similar like the turtle that you have? Or
Well,
what tablet does
it is very much like it, only it is
Okay.
about closing a lid, opening a lid.
Opening lid.
I mean, the one that you have and that we looked at also has words on it. But I never thought them to be, I thought them to be a description, not a spell. But he seems to think that if he just takes us to wherever and he says these words, something will open on the sea bottom. But that can't be the case. I mean,
Well, but if they're looking for a key, it means that that is not enough what they have. If not, they could have done what they wanted to do. They really want to let that thing out? Are you kidding me?
well, I don't know. Maybe I am the key because I can read it and they can't.
Well, even I can read it.
Yeah, but they can't.
It's so
You
easy
you
to
can read it
learn
because
if
you have been working on this.
Yeah, but they could as well.
I don't know.
It's
But I
not
mean,
secret. You can learn this. You can find this.
I would be more interested in knowing where they found that thing. Where did they find that tablet? Because it's not one of ours.
Maybe where we wanted to dive. They were around there. Maybe they brought it back from Penape.
Maybe.
Just for me to remind me
Mhm.
before I try to look through my notes that are not highlighted in any kind of way. We heard that the pearl is like a key, but we assume to close it down.
But it could be that this, I mean, it could work both ways. I mean, if it's a key, it might also unlock something, but you could also maybe use it to lock something that has been opened.
But from their point of view, it sounds like they need the key to open it. So if we are not getting close to that, they cannot. Because if not, they would have opened it.
Probably.
But why were we then sent out? Because we are now the dangerous part in all of this.
You're having this conversation, and then Goto looks around and he says, well, if all you have is a torpedo, anything is a target. Drop these babies, and you can blow up the ocean floor.
But they could have done that before us. Why wait for this?
I have no idea.
Professor, did they say anything what they want to do now, since you don't have the answers they want?
Well, apparently we're going to wherever they were going to go with us, and they will then wait and see.
The question is, do we want to go with them there, or should we try to get out?
He looks at you and says, get out. We are underwater.
Well, we just need to get in front.
Take
And
over the
then-
ship. Goto says, yes, exactly.
You still have the weapon on you, Professor.
I do, but I've never really shot at anyone.
Well, let's hope we don't have to. But I'm not sure we want to go down there and let them do whatever they want to do. The other question is we could try to disarm the torpedoes, but they will just take time and arm them again, I suspect.
They say that it takes us 2 days to get there. So we have 2 days. Goto says, well, I mean, if I disarm one of these, they will never get them to work again unless they take them into a dry dock.
Can you show us how? Then we should try to do that.
Sure.
Just stupid enough to let us here.
I mean,
Alice
there
is
are
like
two. There are
learning
two
new things.
torpedo
Two
bays. This is
torpedoes. Okay.
the forward, and then there's the aft one. So at the moment, you're in the forward one, and he tells you that
And-
there is that he knows this ship.
But if that's the forward one, the bridge is probably in the middle, right?
Yes.
Because it's where
Yeah,
it goes out.
it's
to
where the
middle.
turret
Okay,
is, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, I understand. And let's try to disarm this. This is at
Okay.
least a safe case to do.
So he basically, there are 4 of them. He goes to show you how to disarm one of them, and he gets to re-roll his. Yeah, and he rolled a
Alice will
60
pull
and a
out her
100. We
Swiss
will take the
Army
60.
knife.
We will take the
Yes.
60.
But Alice will pull out her Swiss Army knife because I'm quite sure that is something she would have on travels.
Well,
because
you
it
always
has
carry a
everything
knife.
with
So
her.
basically, now give me a roll on electrical repair if you have it, or heavy machinery.
God, I don't think I either one. Let me see.
A mechanical repair, I mean.
I just have to base value on both, so it's 10. We will see what happens.
You get an advantage on this one. Okay. She will spend 15 luck to make this happen.
Just again, the advantage was for me as well, or just
Yes,
for
for
Dottie?
everybody,
Okay.
because he's showing you how.
No, I'm too far off. 35 is a decent roll, but too far away.
Okay, so then let's take a look at the last one. Dottie rolls a 96 and an 82. So 2, you believe that you have disarmed all of them.
Okay.
And then he says, well, and then the next thing is that we need to take the bridge.
Is it sensible to do that at night? I know unusual on ships at night. It's just
You are quite right. We should wait
basic
until
staff. Yeah, as well?
until night shift, and then
Okay.
yeah. And you
At
also
least-
notice when night happens, because suddenly the light switches to red.
Okay.
I assume that they will still have posted a guard.
Well, we can distract him, and you can.
All right. Let's wait another 2 hours, and then it's
Okay.
truly night, and everybody else will have gone to sleep.
Then let's do that.
Okay. So, do you want to make plans as to how you want to distract him? Dottie asks.
So one way would be playing not feeling very well, barfing up his shoes.
That's drastic, but will definitely work.
Or at least heaving as if he would be scared that
Yeah.
we would barf on shoes. Because usually I would play being drunk. I think in this situation it would
Doesn't
not
work.
be fitting. I think that might be the best way, like being seasick, underwater, panicky. I'm a hysterical woman.
And also, you are in a very, very enclosed space, and you are
Mhm.
afraid of closed spaces.
I think at the moment Alice is not really paying attention to that because
No,
she
your
thinks
adrenaline is
to
there,
think-
but you would,
yeah.
you know, this would be something that you could possibly even envisage yourself feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So time passes, and then Dottie looks at you and says, okay, so work yourself into a frenzy and I'm going to open the door. Okay, make a performance check. And always remember Maria.
Performance. There is no performance.
What is it? Disguise. It's disguise.
Or fast talk.
Or fast talk, yeah.
Persuasion. No, charming is not working. I'm not charming him.
It's either fast talk or disguise.
Oh, disguise is better, so let's go with disguise. Disguise, I would have supposed it would be like putting
Alternatively,
things
you can use sleight of hand, because that's in German even called kaschieren. So you kind of hide your intentions in a very dramatic way.
There's no acting or anything like that.
No, there
really,
isn't.
right?
Yeah.
Why?
We have used disguise before. Remember when you pretended to
Yeah,
be?
I know.
Yeah.
Then I would go with disguise, to be honest, because that's the best stat. It's not perfect, but at least it's something. I'm feeling fine. I'm not in the mood, as it seems.
Maybe you should get different dice.
I'm switching. Every roll is a different set of dice.
Okay, so basically she opens the door and Akane says, we need your help. We need your help. The lady isn't feeling well. Let's see how persuasive she is.
I will still try to
0-5.
Be like, God. That for Miss Minami.
Yeah.
Awesome. I will just try to like, maybe we put a little bit of water, like I'm a little bit sweaty and I'm
just
very short,
lie back and be dramatic.
short breath and panicky and
okay.
Something a little bit outside and just like I need air.
It works because on a 0-5 he buys it instantaneously and he steps into the door. And Goto.
Can we help him? Like little bit of a shove.
Well, he's bending down to look at you.
Okay, perfect.
God, what is with this die? What's with these dice? What is your luck, guy? Oh, he does. Okay, so he spends 29 luck. He's got a 60 in Aikido, and I rolled an 89. So he basically spends 29 luck to take this guy down.
Okay.
And it's basically he basically puts his arm around his maybe he breaks his jugular bone. We don't know, but basically the guy just folds. And then he says, all right. And he starts undressing him so that he gets like part of his uniform, puts it on, and then puts on the cap and the rifle. And he says, all right. So now we need to be quiet. We need to go to the bridge and we need to get everybody there. There should only be one person. And then we will need to find the captain.
Well, the professor should... before we leave, then, the question... I think a few things we would have clarified beforehand. We would have asked the professor if he was in the captain quarters to be talked at, or where did they talk?
Yes, I was.
Okay. If he remembers where it was.
It's just behind the bridge.
Okay, perfect.
And there is a door.
Then I think we would lead our professional ahead and we would tiptoe. Alice would probably put the shoes in her backpack, just because bare feet you're quieter. And she would point the same for Dottie, because I'm quite sure our shoes would make noise. I'm not sure how it's with the others, but
Yeah,
she
everybody's
would
taking
definitely
off
get
their
barefoot.
shoes. Okay, so you get wet feet because I'm
That's fine.
told that these boats are never ever dry.
Yeah,
So
true.
let's roll on stealth. Oh God.
Different set of die.
Yeah, well, that was a failure. Miss Minami fails as well. Aikido guy. Passes just about. What did you roll?
Too much.
Okay.
I rolled a 64. I would need to spend.
She doesn't even have enough luck to spend to make her roll a success.
For me, it would be 20. I could spend luck and make it a success, but then I don't have any luck at all, more or less.
Okay, so what happens is the person on the bridge sees you coming and he starts shouting, and
Then
Goto
let's try to
attacks him
keep.
and misses his. He spends 60. He
I
spends
have
27.
the chance to attack him with my.
Yes. Please do.
That would have been 18 luck to spend. I'm not sure I wanted that. So wait, combat. No, it would be cane dagger. Just let me double check. Rolling. Oh, that's the. I'm just like, what do I have to roll? I see now what I need to roll. Okay. Fuck is happening? The game does not like us. I'm so far off. Luck would not save anything. I'm missing for sure.
Okay.
I have a 53. Why the heck? Oh man. We will all die.
Okay, so the person on the bridge is basically dodges your attack, but he doesn't dodge Goto's attack, and he takes damage, but he has been shouting and you hear people coming. Next up is the captain comes out. Fukuchi sees it, and Fukuchi takes aim and shoots. On a 98, he misses. The captain also shoots.
We don't like that.
On a 07.
Could you please stop rolling?
I know.
well
This
for the
is
evil
terrible.
people?
This is terrible. He hits.
These dice want us all to die. Underwater,
and he
under the sea.
does 5
never to
points
be
of damage against Goto.
That's not good, but 5 points sounds like he could still be alive at least. Because if Alice had 12 points, he should have more than Alice, I suspect. He's fitter, for sure.
Where are the
At
hit
least-
points of these people? I know they're magic points and I know they're luck, but they don't have any hit points.
That's weird.
Okay, what's the math behind? Because the hit points are a derived stat. They are,
Sure.
I think,
It would be something with Constitution, I suspect.
Constitution divided by 5. What is your hit points?
12.
And what's your Constitution?
59 now. That might have been higher in the beginning. I lost Dex and Constitution.
Okay. Okay, if this is the case, because Dottie's con is 50, and she
Which
has
would
10
be
hit points.
That is lower. But divided by 5, you said, right?
Yeah, that okay. If I
I don't
add
know if
this, does this influence anything? No. Okay, so it's definitely only con.
Although it makes sense. My 59 is like 11.8, and if you have to round it up, so I'm at 12. So it makes
Yeah.
sense to divide it by
So
5.
he has, if you have a con of 70,
Mm-hmm.
then your hit points would be
14. 14.
it comes out as 12 in this character sheet, so we'll just go with yeah. Okay, so basically he's still standing, but he is wounded. So you can now do something again.
Who is closer, the captain or the yelling
The yelling guy.
Then let's try to hit him with the cane and hurt him, hopefully, maybe. Come on, guys. You're the good ones. Close enough. I will spend 3 luck and I will have a success.
Okay, and he doesn't dodge. So roll damage.
Oh god, damage bonus I don't have, so 1d6. We will not know what that was because it's a 5 points of damage.
Okay, he's down. And Fukuchi shoots, but the captain dodges. Now it's the captain's turn. No, actually now it's not. Now it's Goto because he hasn't done anything. So he's gonna try and attack. On a 47, he attacks and hits. No, you gave him a gun, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so he's gonna use his pistol.
The cold, he could use a firearm handgun if he's better at that.
But this is like
because it's
he dodges. I don't believe this. Okay, so now it's the captain. He aims at Goto, and on a 65, he misses.
Okay.
Okay, next round. Other people are joining. You can hear it. It's now only the captain.
Okay, let's try to get him and then get.
It's your turn.
The question is, we don't want to kill him. We may want to make him unconscious.
At the moment, he's not even hurt. So
okay, no,
yeah.
but generally it would be the goal to make him unconscious, so we can ask questions afterwards. Okay.
So attack, or what do you do?
Yeah, attack. I would try to use cane. What kind of weapon does the professor have? Although then we have no. I will do the cane. I will do the cane. Never mind. Why am I throwing this dice away? It is a miss.
Okay.
I hate all of you. Every single one of you failed.
Fukuchi, and he on a 96. That's a fumble. He jams his gun. Next up is. Oh yeah. So Goto hits.
Thank goodness. Dear dice gods.
Okay, so basically, I'm just wondering, can you dodge a bullet? You can, but at a disadvantage. Yes. Okay, so this time around he doesn't dodge because I rolled a 12 first. But obviously, dodging a bullet is different from dodging like a melee attack because you know. So basically, he takes damage, 5 points, and he tries to shoot. He shoots Goto. Goto doesn't dodge. Goto's down.
That is not good.
No, actually, it was 5 and 4. That's 9. He's at 12, so he's still standing. So it's Fukuchi. Fukuchi manages to hit. He doesn't dodge. He takes 2 points of damage. Goto shoots. 13 hits. 61 doesn't dodge. Captain's down. And then other people come in, and Goto basically points a gun and he says something in Japanese. And now, and Akane says, please point your weapon at the men coming in and look imposing.
I will look
Fukuchi
at the professor.
does the same thing.
And I will just have my cane ready.
And please roll a persuade or intimidation if you have it.
There is intimidate. No, persuasion is definitely the better one. I will burn all of them. I will now take my normal dice that I use as a DM because this is insane. It's a fail. I rolled a 98.
Okay, it's even a fumble.
No
They can't
one
take you seriously.
No one is taking me seriously.
Okay, so basically, Goto points, and then and then there is a person who is basically trying to attack him, and Goto deftly sidesteps him, does an Aikido move, throws him to the ground, and puts his foot on the person's neck. And Akane translates, if you come any closer, I'll crush his neck. Everybody freezes. And he says, I'm taking over this ship. And everybody listens to my command. The commander has been relieved because he's a traitor to the Japanese nation. And everybody's kind of, and he says, all right, and he turns to you and to the students. He says, take the captain and lock him up.
We will immediately
in his
do
quarters. And tie him up. And he points. There are ropes there, and you tie up the. Okay, now we can use her seamstressing ability on a 0-8. I love it when Dottie tries to yeah, she gets this for seamstressing art and craft. When she tries to tie up people, she always does really well. 0-8. Well done, Dottie.
What is this with these die?
And basically then he shouts orders, and Akane tells you that he's ordering everybody to wake up and to turn the ship around and to head straight, not for Ponape. First of all, he tells them to surface, and then he tells them to go back to where you came from, to Okinawa. And yeah, and then what do you do with the captain?
Well, we would tie him up, but we would maybe splash some water in his face and hope that we can get him to wake up and he's not dead.
He isn't dead, but he's severely wounded.
Then we would still patch him up a bit and use first aid to see if we can fix him. And if we
Oh God.
No.
Yes. I rolled a 100.
No. Oh God. Can I shove you away? No. Let's see what I roll. Maybe
Nobody
we can counteract it. I'm not counteracting with a 73. Goodbye, dear captain.
Seriously, I mean, this is like I rolled a 0-0-0 and the captain dies.
I took new dice out of the box. I rolled them 10 times now, and I never rolled under 70. What is happening today?
I have no idea.
Would you talk to Mr. Cthulhu, please, and just tell him we should not be mad at us?
This is not going well, is it?
No. Oopsie.
Okay, she needs to test her stability on a 78. Dottie is not all right.
Well, the question is with the she did first aid or did she do medicine?
She did first aid and she basically did harm. She loses 4 points of sanity. 1, 2, 3, 4. She just killed a man.
No way with medicine or anything.
No, seriously. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
It has to have a consequence.
Yeah.
You know,
it's absolutely true.
Yeah. Dottie's not okay.
I will just pull her up and we'll lead her out of the quarters, and we will try to lock the quarters up.
Yeah, you can do that.
And I will turn to Dottie. You tried your best, and honestly, you kind of deserved. I want to bring that thing back from the painting.
I know, but still, knowing that I could have saved him and killed him instead.
Well,
I mean, this is bad.
the gods clearly wanted him dead.
That is true. So basically, everybody sets course.
Mm-hmm.
And now Goto says, stay on the bridge with this man. And he points to a sailor and he says, I'm going to talk to the crew now. He is of the opinion that something very weird was going on here. Nobody knows the captain. He's new. Also, the people with machine guns are new. This is the normal crew.
That explains why they were not aggressive to us. They were following orders, as weird as they are. Also, we would share with the rest that we could not save the captain.
Yeah, so basically, in the meantime, he has already collected all of the machine guns. They are safely stowed away in the forward torpedo, which is now basically, because it's behind the bridge and you can control access to it very easily simply by sitting in front of it. And he says, and I'm going to speak to everybody in the crew now to find out what the situation is. But in the meantime,
ask for her Colt back just to have her handgun, because he could get another one easily.
Yes, yeah, because he takes the captain's one. Perfect. And he hands you back the gun, and there's also ammunition, and he basically gives you some, and then you can reload. Mm-hmm. And Fukuchi does the same thing, and then Fukuchi looks at you and he says, after Goto is gone, I'm not sure if maybe it would be a good idea to destroy the tablets completely.
But the tablets alone do not do anything.
But I mean, or we try to destroy this place once and for all. If we had a key to lock it down forever.
Well, we do.
What do you mean we do?
We do have the key.
Who is we?
Well, technically, I.
Where did you find something in the ruins when you dove?
Now getting the name right of the lady that sent us without putting it the wrong way. I just say
Sadako, the imperial, the Taoist,
the Taoist
Empress Dowager.
Okay, and that would be like she sent us along because she knew something was not right.
Her Imperial Highness.
Yes.
Why did she send you? And you can now tell this is kind of like this idea. Why would she send a gaijin?
Because I see things that others don't. Have you ever talked to a kami, Professor, yourself, in person?
I hope that when I go to pray, they listen, but I can't say that I've ever spoken to one in person, no.
I did. We helped one. And I would point to Dottie.
And he looks at the both of you, and you can tell that he's incredulous. And how does her Imperial Highness know this?
Well, she's clearly talking to the kami and the gods. She bore. If there is someone, it's either, well, clearly Highness himself or the mother.
You can tell that this does compute because, yes, that's right up his. You can actually give yourself a tick for persuasion.
Already have a tick.
Okay. All right, so the idea would be to turn around, use the key to lock it in forever.
That was why we were sent, to make sure it is locked away. I'm just worried that we will open something, because it can't be open now.
Well, maybe if you use your key and put it there, it basically locks it down forever.
That
Maybe
might
they
be.
just, maybe think of it like it's a door that is closed,
But not locked.
but not locked. They were going to open it. You can lock it.
Also, maybe destroying the tablet still might be afterwards a good idea.
Then we should tell Goto to turn the ship around.
Although you could... I'm not sure if your tablet seems to be the good one in the batch.
Let's just destroy all of them. And when we're home, we will just destroy all of the copies. I'm not sure if there are any copies of theirs. There are rubbings of ours. We will just destroy them. Goto returns and he says, well, I've spoken to the crew. They're all on board.
Would you kill us if we turn around to Penape?
Would you care to share why?
To close up whatever they wanted to let out.
So you have a seal?
We have a key, yes.
Well then, we were there anyway. So he basically shouts a couple of orders and he says, then I think we should just follow the course that was plotted.
Yes.
It's about 2 sea miles south of Penape Island.
And let's at least have a look.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you should try to get the torpedo in front active again. We don't know if we need it.
That's something we can do. So you basically then travel, and then he says, and you're surfaced, so you're actually not submerging. And then he says, well, here we need to submerge. And if this is right, there's an underground cavern that is more than big enough to hold this submarine.
Mm-hmm.
So you dive, and then he says, okay. And he says, well, take a look. And he asks you to come up to the turret, which is now, of course, closed, so you can use the periscope. And what you see that you are really in an underground cavern that is maybe 20 meters wide and maybe 30 meters tall, and it's completely submerged. But you can tell that it's not natural. It's not a cave. Somebody built this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a huge processional street or avenue, like a really, really wide, enclosed, like the Champs-Élysées, but submerged and covered in a stone case. And then the whole thing opens up to the side, and you can see that there are gargantuan walls on either side, and it looks like you're in a pool. And then he says, we can surface.
Then let's try.
You surface, and then he opens the lock, and then he says, careful. And then some water gushes in, because obviously there's always a residual amount of water there. And you climb up, and you see that you are in a huge, it's like a dome. And in the middle, it's really like a pool. And in the middle is an altar, a stone altar, or it looks like an altar. And he says, well, if you're going to seal something, maybe that's where you should seal it.
The question is, did the professor bring his tablet itself with him, or, well, the drawing we have?
Make a luck roll.
God, yeah, I will try. I will try. I would just mix and match. Maybe that will be better for you guys. Just
That's an idea.
I'm not sure if it well. It can't. It can't get worse.
It can't get any worse.
Oh, it's a 5. I will do that now from always and forever. I rolled a 5.
Yes, he
luck,
brought.
Yes.
So, okay, do you consider yourself lucky if he brought it, or would you rather
Yes.
that he? Okay, then he's got it.
We would have wanted that he has it because it might be that we need it because his looks like it's locking everything down. So I don't want to use the other one for sure because I want to let that thing out. I would clearly ask the professor and also Miss Minami, Dottie anyhow, for sure to let's have a look.
Okay, so you climb out and you can see that this is all covered not in turtles. These are more like really weirdly shaped fish people. Gruesome faces, not like the people you met in the hotel, but really gruesome faces with really long teeth. They look more like predatory fish people, and you see people. You see reliefs of people killing turtles.
Okay, clearly with the killing turtles, well, this makes clear that that's not the ones, Dottie, that we met, and clearly they are not friends of the gods, or the people of Ponape, or the
Absolutely,
people of
they're not.
around here.
And you get to the basically to the actual altar, and it's about maybe 2 meters wide, and in it is a relief of something that looks a lot like what you saw in the painting.
Great.
And it holds out its hands like so. And there is space to put in the jewel, and it would fit like a glove.
Okay, I just turning around to the others as well. I would not put the jewel in there because it looks like an invite to open everything for these things and him. We should have a look around if there's any kind of sign on how to
make a spot hidden.
Whatever. Also in combination with whatever we learned so far, if we stumble over anything.
Dottie has a normal success.
Mix and match seems to be the thing, and that is a hard success. I rolled a 35.
Okay, hard success. So let me check. You find something else. You spend a lot of time looking because you do believe that you are right, that this is probably more like a, oh, hey, open it, put this in here. And you find something that looks a lot less sophisticated, like somebody came in later and wrote down some Nakal scripture. But it was definitely added afterwards, and it's completely out of place. And it's on the side. Basically, you walk around and you bow down and you look over the edge into into the pool, and you can see that somebody actually put some writing there. And you show this to the professor, and between the two of you, you can actually make out that this is it's a prayer. It's a prayer to the great turtle who brought the two gods and who made them, who basically brought them to life here. And it is a spell, if you believe in such things, that would eternally bring down the god's house. So flatten it.
Let's talk to our shipmates to see how quickly they can get out of here, just to prepare. We will not have much to any time.
Okay, Ngoto sits down. On a 56, he tells you, if we get everybody in and we submerge immediately, we can make it in 5 minutes. But we would have to turn on all of the engines, and it could get dicey because, you know, we're basically going against the current, and if we're going so fast, we will have to really be careful that we don't, you know, it's wide enough for us, but it's still a bit narrow. So going quickly could be dangerous, but worst case scenario, 5 minutes, but I would prefer 10.
I don't think we will have 10, but please prepare everybody to be ready.
And what are you going to do?
Well, I think standing next to the open flap and do the prayer.
All right, then.
Not sure. It might lead to nothing, but I suspect we might feel rumbling and sky falling on our head.
All right, then you stand there. Fukuchi stands next to you, Dottie on the other side, and Akane is right there with you. Everybody else is in the ship. What do you do with the jewel?
I would clearly pull the jewel out, would have it in my hand. And I would kind of at least scooch to the edge. It's a question if it would be feasible. I would like to have the hand like partly in the water. I want to have the jewel to touch the water, just to be safe and sound.
Okay, so what's going to happen is, please make a mana check, and Dottie holds your hand and she can assist you. Sorry, roll on your POW, not your mana. It's POW, mana, it's the German.
I'm so scared of these dice.
What did you roll?
I haven't picked a dice yet. So
oh God, okay.
I'm just scared to pick. No, you belong together. I'm not taking you. Go away. We know matchy is not good today. Guys. That is a 17, which is a hard success.
Brilliant. Okay, so you are going to lose 5 magic points. 10 magic points, I lie.
I don't have.
Did
I ever regain magic points?
Yes, you get them back 1 per hour.
Oh, because I'm still down to basically nothing. I never set them up again.
No, so you basically they come back at the rate of 1 an hour, unless you are hurt.
No, I'm not, and I haven't used magic.
No, I mean you have all of yours back. You have all of yours back.
So by 10, okay, then I still have 1 magic point left.
Okay, you lose 3 points of sanity. I rolled max.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
And you chant the words. Dottie holds onto your hand, and suddenly the waters begin to rise, and suddenly you feel everything shaking, and you see more than you can hear rumbling, and it's like there's an earthquake.
That would be the point of yelling in the boat and out. And
everybody gets into the boat.
Yes.
Okay, so and now let's see how they're steering.
Praying.
They rolled a 0-6.
Alice would still be there, basically clutching the pearl and just praying for everyone in the ocean to help us.
And basically it is working. I mean, on a 0-6, they are out of there like nothing. It's like perfect. In the meantime, Fukuchi takes his tablet, he smashes it like Abram or like Moses smashed the Ten Commandments tablets. He's so angry. He destroys every trace. He says, "Oh, and once we're in the open, we're just gonna submerge this and throw it into the ocean, and it will never be found."
Also, the one the captain had as well, right?
Yes.
We need to get as well. And Alice would honestly, she would rip out the page, or she would take out. She doesn't have to rip out the copy that she
Yeah.
made from the
Yeah.
tablet,
Mm-hmm.
and she would just look at it a little. She would just draw the turtle without any signs, anything, just the turtle itself, because the turtle motif is everywhere around here. That's a good thing. And then she would burn, like in a trash can or so, she would burn the copy that she has.
And basically, you're going at full speed, and at some point then you surface, because he said, and he also says he needs to slow down because they're burning a lot of oil. And he says, all right, we will go back.
Important was just to get out of the cave. Afterwards, we can carefully make our way.
Yeah. And so basically, you return to Okinawa. And that is a long trek. Yeah.
We would make a stop at our ship to collect our things.
Okay, so then you go to Punapi, but then he says, well,
we need to, at least Alice wants to have.
But then what we should do is we should split up. I should take the U-boat and you take your ship back. Or do you want to come with us? It's a lot less comfortable. We're happy to have you.
Well, they can't do anything anymore, so maybe splitting up, if you would be okay on your own there.
I believe and Akane says, I will go with you, and I will make sure that you meet Her Imperial Highness and tell her everything, because I don't think you want to meet the prince.
That's a good idea. We will manage with the professor.
And so you split up, you go back to Okinawa, and from there you switch and you take a boat back to Yokohama, back to Tokyo. So that's several weeks. I want to say 3 weeks, all in all. And you're back in Tokyo, and you go to your hotel, and there's a note waiting from Akane that everything has worked out, and Her Imperial Highness, the Empress Dowager, requests your presence for tea. Please reply at your earliest convenience.
We will send a reply immediately that we just landed, and we could do tea either today or tomorrow, whatever fits best.
Okay, so basically a runner is sent. You arrive in your room. Nobody has ransacked your room. Everything is the way it was, which is good because that's not how it always was. But you find something in your bed as you push back the blanket. You see a tiny jade turtle, which has been placed there.
Me or Dottie as well?
You.
Okay. I will show it to Dottie. I think that's a gift.
It is, isn't it?
It's really pretty.
Maybe it was given by the gentleman we met earlier.
I suspect so.
I'm glad that they got the other diver. God knows what would have happened if he'd been there too.
Well, I for sure would have been dead, and our friend as well.
And so you, after a while, there's a knock on the door, and it's a message saying that you're invited for tea at the palace, the day after. So basically, the next day at
The next day,
17:30.
okay.
Do you want to do
Then
anything special, or we will just jump?
I think we can just jump. We would just like enjoy the first night in a bed. Proper
Yes.
bed.
Hot bath.
Hot bath. It will be a nice hotel food. Just
Yeah.
the most exquisite just enjoying, probably maybe drinking at least a glass of wine. What Dottie would have clearly seen here, Alice did not drink much to anything. Maybe a bit of sake just to be polite.
Yeah.
But not really drinking much to anything.
She has noticed. And so you have excellent food, a really nice spa day, and then at 1700 hours, there's a knock, and you're told that there's a car waiting for you outside the hotel.
We clearly would have put our kimonos on and made ourselves presentable.
So you go to the palace, you're taken to the buildings that belong to her, the shrine, to the Empress Dowager, and you're brought into a very small, very intimate room with tatami mats, and it's obviously a Japanese room. And Akane is there. She's also wearing a kimono. She looks very different when she's not in her Western clothes, very different. There are several miko, so shrine maidens, also around, and everybody's standing, and then a side door opens, and Sadako walks in. Everybody does a kotao, a full kotao.
Deep bow, for sure.
And she basically surveys the room, and then she walks to the head of the table. She kneels down and sits down, and then everybody else sits down. Well, not everybody. You sit down, Akane sits down, Dottie sits down. Everybody else is basically we then serving tea.
Follow Miss Minami, basically. When she moves to sit down, it would be like, okay, we can do now. Or if she gives us like a sign to.
Yeah. And then Sadako drinks tea. She's very quiet. She's being very Japanese. So every so often she does a sound, and she makes and she rustles, and it's like these unspoken speaking sounds that Japanese people make at the beginning of very important talks. And then she says, "We have been told of your success. I feel that the course of history has been altered.
Alice would just nod.
The prince is not happy." And she gives you kind of like a very mysterious smile. "But the happiness of the prince is of no concern. I thank you. I do not know now what the future holds. I will have to reconvene with the powers behind the shroud. But I know that what I foresaw will now not come to pass. For that I thank you. I could not have done it myself."
Alice would just look at Minami, just like being sure that she is allowed to speak now. Just very carefully.
And Akane gives you an encouraging nod.
Well, we had the help of the best people.
So I am told, and I met the new captain.
He deserves it very well.
I have decided that he wouldn't be safe in the Navy. He's now captain of my household guard.
You will be safer than ever now.
And I believe you are right.
Also, Alice would carefully take out the box with the pearl inside. And would hand it back to her. Thank you for this. It made everything possible. And thanks to all the ancestors before who kept it safe.
She opens the box, and you can tell that something is different. She obviously notices something different. She takes out the pearl, and she says, and she holds it in her hand, and you see that it has turned into a turtle. And she closes her fist around it, then puts it gently back, and she says, do you not have a saying that the gods walk in mysterious ways?
They do. I'm glad
And she
they were
closes the box.
on our side.
And basically then food is also brought. So it's more like English tea in the evening, which is just another word for supper. And then after, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily that it is the most enjoyable meal you've ever had, because she is kind of like a really formidable woman and she doesn't really speak a lot. I mean,
But the food must
the
be
food is great, and she is being a gracious hostess, but you know, it's now, and then obviously the first geisha come in, there is music, you know, and it's more like a really intimate Japanese official dinner. Yeah, and several hours later, then she rises, everybody rises, all of the Japanese women, and there are no men present, kowtow, and then she looks at you one more time, nods, and then she walks out. And then Akane says, well, that went really well. I haven't seen her that relaxed in a long time.
Well, we are alive, and we, for definite time, closed that door, gate, lid, whatever you want to call it.
And for that, I thank you.
Thank you for your help. We couldn't have done it without you at all.
And she nods, and then she says, your car will take you back now.
Thank you.
And so you are back in your hotel. And that closes the book on Upon a Stone Altar. And next time, I've got a very special, very, very gruesome Japanese tale for you.
I am very curious, and I'm very happy that with all the horrible rolls in between,
Oh,
what
yes.
the heck? We
Seriously,
still
yeah.
managed to not completely die on spot, every single one of us. And we kind of managed to...
Okay, but
shift
before
around.
we call it a day, you get to increase all of the things that you have. So
All the
we'll do
books?
this now. All of the things that you
God.
have ticked. So I'm gonna do it for Dottie. Arts and crafts.
It's always a D10 that I have to roll.
Yeah, first you
right?
have to roll against the stat, and you want to roll over, and then you roll a D10. So she basically rolled a 99. Oh, that's brilliant, on her seamstressing, so she gets to increase it. And she rolled a 6, so it's up to 58.
So, arts and crafts. I rolled under, so nothing's happening.
Which art and craft did you? Was it photography?
No, no, I just have arts and crafts.
No, but why did you tick it?
It was photography.
Oh, it was drawing.
Right.
It was drawing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it was drawing for
Yeah.
sure. And because I took a few pictures, but drawing was clearly the one where I
Psychology.
made it.
She doesn't increase it.
A hook at charming. Oh, that's a 94. That's when you like high numbers, right?
Yeah.
So.
And she increases her sleight of hand by
10.
1.
Ooh, an 8. 58 for charm now. This is good. What else we have? Fast talk. Nope. First aid. Clear, yes. And I have a 10. That is crazy high. So Alice's
Don't
first
forget
aid
your
is
shooting
now
as well.
as 40. I did not shoot.
But you did your melee combat with your cane, didn't you?
But it doesn't have a staff.
How do you then do it?
That's a good question. What do you, because I have it in the weapons part, you see what you have to roll?
Yeah, but that's it. So if you say, what do you have to roll?
I need to roll a 53.
Okay, then roll a 50, roll a D100.
let's
If it's
do that.
54 or higher, then you get to increase
Oh,
your
it's
stat.
higher. It's
Then
higher.
roll a D10 and increase it.
That is a 3. Better than nothing. I will
Yeah.
take. No, that's the wrong one. That's the one. What did I? There's no going back here, right? Nope. Okay. 56.
Okay.
Let me see what else I have. Because I have a lot of check
Yes,
marks.
you did, didn't you?
History, definitely a nope. Oh no, yes. I'm so low at history. How did I manage to roll good at history then? That is nice.
You'll take it.
34 and 9 points on history. That's good. Language own. It's the education stat.
Yeah, you didn't increase your education, so you can't.
No,
you're not going to change your English,
right? Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So library use is a clear no because it's so extremely high. Listen is a clear no because it's already that high. Persuasion is a no. I just barely wrote lower, just 1 point lower. That is annoying. Psychology is a clear no. Language nakal is a yes. Is that okay that I
Absolutely.
put
Yeah,
nakal
you
a
have
little
been
bit up
working
as
on
well?
this, and you have been working with it. Absolutely.
Okay, now we have that. Spot hidden. Clear no, which is not surprising. And stealth is a yes. Barely, but a yes. I will take it. 2 points. I will still take it.
Okay.
Oh, history Japan. Sorry, I'm missing.
No problem.
No, I rolled a 1. History Japan, I'm not getting wiser. That is all I have. The question is, do we also raise occult?
That's a good point. But before we do
Because I
this,
have a hook there, so it could be an option.
okay. Well, okay. So first of all, roll 2d10 and add the numbers together.
All right. That's a 4.
You roll 2d10 and you got a 4. You rolled 2.
I got a 1 and a 3.
Okay, that's bad because you're increasing your luck by that.
Well, at least it's increased.
Okay, so Dottie's luck goes up by 19.
I am very proud of her. Then at least someone has luck. Magic points I will reset to 4.
Yeah, you can
right?
reset them. You have
Because
recovered them,
that
yes.
would be
Okay, so you get back 1d4 plus 2 sanity. 1d4 plus 2, so she gets back 3 sanity.
1d4 plus 2. Oh, that's a 4. Plus 2, 6 sanity back. That's good. 1, 2. I can only go to max sanity, right? I can't go higher.
What is your max sanity?
55.
What
Or
is
was
your
it 50?
POW? It's 55, is it? Okay, so you are simply insane. Let's not put it this way. Let's not be so harsh. You're just not the... Because
My
her
POW
sanity, her max sanity is 85.
Yeah, my POW was always that low. It never changed. I always started at that point, which makes sense for Alice because she sometimes does things she shouldn't do.
Oh no, actually now her max is actually 54 because of her whole falling from God and also her abortion and everything that has left.
But I didn't lose much sanity,
Yeah.
so for me, easy. I'm full again. So
okay, so now you get to roll against your occult and increase that.
Maybe not. I rolled a 3.
Okay,
now is not the time to roll good, guys.
Okay, so now what happens is you increase your Cthulhu mythos by 3 points.
Okay. It's getting very high. I'm not sure that is a good thing.
Okay, so that's not a good thing because now you have to make a sanity check. And so does Dottie.
Oh, God.
And she doesn't pass.
Though we haven't even seen anything really bad except the paintings. I have to say, for this case, we scraped along surprisingly well, not seeing horrible things.
So your max sanity should have now decreased because you increased your mythos. Your Cthulhu mythos.
Is max the... Wait. Okay, my max is really low anyhow. So I'm too high all the time for sanity.
What is your max sanity?
It's 44, so
44. Okay, then you have to decrease your number to 44. She's still below
fine.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, me as well. I wrote
because
22.
obviously, and I didn't realize that it does it automatically, but when you increase your Cthulhu mythos, it actually decreases your max sanity.
I never paid attention to that. Let's see. Yeah, true. Okay, that's not good. So I need to always stay below that value and ignore the initial one that I had, which was 55, which is power. Okay.
And now
44 sanity is not good, darling.
No.
But hey-oh.
Well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's just once
coming from 55, it's not too shabby.
No, yeah. once you fall, let's say, beyond 5, then you are critically insane, and then
it's also depending on how quickly you lose clearly as well. If it's just 1 point here and then a little 1 point there, it's not as harsh as
but if your max ever goes down to 5, if you're an occultist and you have 90 if you're an occultist and you have Cthulhu mythos 70, then it's really low. And then of course you would be the person who starts casting, because that's what you do. You become a cultist, and then it drops really quickly. Okay, so thank you very much for playing.
Thank you very much for throwing in this adventure. That was fun.
You saved the world. You saved Japan at least. And then in 2 weeks' time, we will do something a lot more traditional in its outlook, but a lot more Japanese in its way, because that was a Cthulhu. It was Gnago Thor. We will not try to pronounce his name, so it's not a Japanese thing, but the next one is going to be a very Japanese story. I'm curious to see, but thank you for this one. Thank you. And thanks everybody for listening and for watching. And wherever you are, and thanks to our patrons, stay tuned. And in 2 weeks' time, we will continue our saga of Alice Baker in Japan. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.